Aptly titled this one the right way, I think. I hope you guys can hear me. It's kind of hard. I gotta keep this mask on though. All right. I hope you can hear me better now. I find it appalling, almost crazy. You know what? I'm gonna wait till a couple of you guys get in here first before I go on my little diatribe or whatever. This is why, one of the reasons, YouTube, would you please make an invite button? That would be the best thing that YouTube could ever do. Because I have to sit here and wait for a few minutes for the crowd to come in, and I hate having to start already with the topic and then like, you know what I mean? It kind of gets annoying. There we go. Hey, whoever just came in, 2 people, okay, here we go. Hey, what's going on, Don? Yeah, waiting for people to come in a little bit before I start talking. All right, here you guys go. They must be sending out the alerts now. All right. I have to depend on YouTube to send out my alerts. It's crazy. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. Right now, as we speak, there are nearly hours to Donald Trump's constituency and when it comes to an end, right? And with that known, we had a Congress that took precedence in impeaching the president rather than getting out stimulus checks to people, which is crazy to me. This is all we know from the factor of the Capitol Hill insurgents, whatever you want to call it or whatever. And I know a lot of y'all gonna think this is boring as you come in, but I want to start this off right. That superseded you as a citizen monetarily and where this country is currently, the safety of Congress members and senators. And I think in a proportion, Nancy Pelosi did predictably what Donald Trump knew she would do, which was file for an article of impeachment once again. So we all know we're past that now, and now it's actually in motion, it's actually getting ready to happen, and you know, I don't think anything will come out of it. But what I want to speak more to is this. Because their life was in fear, because their life was in hands and in jeopardy in that moment, these senators, Congress, they all decided at that moment that what happened at Capitol Hill superseded anybody getting any type of economic relief, including the EIDL loans, stimulus checks, everything inclusive of what that package would have been or would be or would consider to be future. I haven't seen the draft yet. I don't know about y'all. That superseded. I want you to chime in on that. That superseded the Capitol getting rushed over that. And notably why? There were 5 people killed. Condolences to all of their families. But that's not the point. The point was that happened because of an inaction. And an inaction was the same thing that I talked about when I came up here last time. And when I came up here last time and I said what I said, right after that it happened. Right in front of your eyes. And that's documented. It's on my YouTube channel. You can go look at it. I'll add it in the description like I always add my videos. And I was right here and I said that. I said what it's going to lead to is going to lead to more people running amok. Now we're in a chapter where we have soldiers. They could be other places. They're right now sitting in the Capitol Hill building. Justly. I don't want to see nobody get hurt. I don't want to see nobody get killed. If everybody that went out there and did that and your intentions were evil, whatever happened to you, happened to you. Simple as that. With hours left of Donald Trump's presidency, y'all want to rather switch the motive from stimulus to impeachment of the president within hours of the constituency now changing hands. Nancy Pelosi, if you hadn't put a nail in the coffin you already had in the ground. All right, I'm gonna talk real plain. Fuck it. Nancy Pelosi literally held up the stimulus. I've said this repeatedly over and over again. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, they were the 2 factors up until just recently when they did a bid on it that were holding up the stimulus. Both of them are guilty, both parties, both leaders of the House, equal to blame, all right? But what kills me the most is After all that pandering, after all the halting, after all the stagnation that Nancy Pelosi and both Mitch McConnell both brought on, they both decided that it was more important, including 10 Republican senators, to go in and impeach the president rather than work on a stimulus or a stimulus handoff of something pre-existing so it can be presented in front of the Republicans, and the Republicans can then vote on it, deal on it the way they feel. Nah, this superseded that. Now, y'all know I'm no stranger. I talk about poverty. I talk about all that stuff, right? Because it's reality. And I will tell you again, and this is what I'm going to tell y'all. That action that happened at Capitol Hill is going to be tried to be mimicked. And it's going to be mimicked several times. And you can note me on this time when I say it too and don't believe me. I'm very good. I worked in the music business for 16 years before computers were even available. And our thing was, we had to figure out things by projections, where the direction was specifically going. And I'm telling you, and working in marketing, that's all you know. I know it by, so the same thing adapts to life itself and situations you see in the media and in life. The next thing that's going to happen is people and regular people are going to start adapting the same mentality. And the mentality that they adapt is going to be, how can you say, influenced by the proceedings that they saw at Capitol Hill. Now everybody online thinks it's okay. I said when I first started seeing the clips of the people that were responsible and how they were lining them up and arresting them and everything like that, I said they're going to run those clips hour on the hour as they catch each one of them, as they should. As they should. And that's to set an example that if you brought up in Capitol, like how far did you think you was going to get? And then the stuff that they did was silly. It was silly shit. I'm going to go up and grab Nancy Pelosi's podium. I'm going to go sit in Nancy Pelosi's office. I thought they was going to do some real shit. Like, you know what I mean? Have a set of demands and be like, you know, if you're going to do some shit like that, do it real. Don't go up there and take pictures and selfies and shit in front of Nancy Pelosi's office. That was a group. And now you might possibly do years. And your claim to fame is, I'm the motherfucker that took a picture in Nancy Pelosi's office. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know what the fuck it is. But I'll tell you guys this. This is now stagnating not only the country, but this is all for purposes for Nancy Pelosi personally. And I don't know why, some reason she thinks that this is going to lend out her to her legacy, because anybody that will vote this broad in Cruella Deville looking woman that looks like she's on a deathbed damn near already, her and Mitch McConnell. Her and Mitch McConnell got one foot in the grave. Y'all know that and I know that too. Like, let's stop pretending. You know, Strom Thurmond, he was another one that had one foot in the grave. That man was 98 years old before he left the Senate. So, you know, the evilest ones always live the longest. That's what my grandmother used to say. People that are evil always live the longest. I don't know what it is that Nancy Pelosi is trying to pull off, but it's not working for the country. It's not working for people in New York City. It's not working for people in New Jersey. It's not working for people damn sure in Connecticut. As I mentioned so aptly today, my experiences and things that I've seen happen in particularly the area I've been in Connecticut, or was in. Connecticut has lost a lot because of this pandemic. New York has lost a lot, New Jersey as well. And Jersey had problems prior to this already started, specifically with the lead in the water down there. They had lead in the water, and it was in the drinking water, and it siphoned off into the schools. They had to close a couple schools and everything else in New Jersey, specifically in Newark, New Jersey, South Jersey. So, you know, Newark already had their problems with Jersey and Ross Barack and all the guys down there. They already had their own problems prior to COVID-19. And they needed relief then, if you ask me, and personally, in my opinion. So let's hope that Ross Barack, let's hope that even de Blasio and his failed tenure, constituency, I say tenure. Let's hope that he gets the help he needs too. Shout out to Cuomo though. Cuomo does his diligence. He's on YouTube every morning with some type of briefing. You know, whether you want to hear it, you don't want to hear it, you like it, you don't like it, he's on there. I'll say similar to Ned Lamont kind of in Connecticut, but not as much as Murphy and Cuomo. Connecticut now has a shift where coronavirus was specifically in southern Connecticut, which is Fairfield County more so, when it was at its peak here in New York. And now it's transitioning to southeast or northern Connecticut, as you would think it would be. As precedents of that, a lot of things are happening. There's a lot of hunger going on in Connecticut. There's a lot of hunger going on in New York City. There's a lot of increase in homelessness. There's a lot of increase in a lot of things that normally wouldn't be here under certain circumstances in its entirety. It's extremes that you see now. So unfortunately, these are the ramifications that came from COVID-19. These are the ramifications that come from a staled and a stagnated second stimulus, which they direly need. At this point, you need to give people $4,000 a piece. You really need to consider that. The more that you can spend, or even the considerable bill of Biden is promoting was $600 a week for everyone that is in a certain bracket. I think that's considerable. Laws they spend it back in the community or back in the local communities in New York City and the tri-state in general. But this is something different. This is people playing feelings and politics over presidents and nature. We look like the laughing stock of the fucking world right now. I said that last time when I was up here. I said we look like the laughing stock of the world. The international community as America, because of the stagnation, not because of the people, not because of our military system. No, we look economically weak. And the entities that are coming here and they're spending are mostly foreign. Before I pulled up here today, I was blaring out the speaker, born in the USA. And the reason I was doing that was because I went to Columbus Circle. And there was a man there, and he had a kiosk, I believe. And he was playing some prayer or something like that, but it was of not this origin of this country. And that, you know, a lot of people, they'll take that a certain way. But what's associated with that, I just didn't think it was a proper place at the proper time to be doing that. If you wanted to hear that, I think it'd be considerable to listen to it for yourself. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's fourth word for that sound or whatever. I'm born in this country. As many of you are on here that are African American and Latino, we're born in this country. A lot of us, specifically African Americans, go back 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 generations in this country. So, and they fought in the wars and everything else. So a lot of African Americans in this country feel a certain type of grapple to it other than a foreigner would. Now, I don't have any problem with foreign entities coming in or whatever. I don't like the obnoxiousness sometimes it comes with it. It comes from, and I'm half an immigrant, so that's why I can say this. I'm half an immigrant, so no insult to anyone. It's more so because people nowadays look at where they come from, and then when they come here, they have a certain attitude of I can do anything I want to do. But if you put the roles in reverse and you try to do that in their country, it would not work. You know, and there's certain prejudices between skin tones. India is examining it right now with the bleaching creams. Africa is examining now with the bleaching creams. Europe is examining now. You know, these are things that have been going on. I saw this video on YouTube. I don't know if you guys saw it, where this woman, she had put I think it's called a bleaching soap. And it was a treatment that they actually do. They put it in a bathtub and they started knifing off epidermises, like each layer of her skin. You know, it was disgusting. You can look that up on YouTube. It'll come up real easily. I'm saddened right now, man. That's all I'll say. I'll end out with this, man. If you want to change or whatever, start helping your own right now. Relief is not coming anytime soon. Relief is not coming anytime soon. Right now, it's more important to get this man that's got a couple hours left, who I've never really spoke against or spoke for. But this right here is silly. He knows this is silly. That's why he had a smirk on his face the other day when he did the press conference. Y'all gotta remember, Trump is a Queens boy. You know? Trump grew up in Jamaica Gardens. Yes, he did. So he's a New York City boy for real. So I think he'll probably be triumphant in this one. It's going to take a hard reckoning at that. But Listen, guys, I want to tell y'all this. Right now, this last thing. Right now ain't the time to be doing no protesting. You understand what I'm saying? I need everybody to fall back. I need y'all to spread the word, share this, whatever, and tell other people the same thing. Right now ain't the time to be protesting. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, on command, on God, I want y'all to make sure for the next month, y'all don't do no protesting. If you do some protesting, do it online. You want to do some advocacy, do it online. You know what I mean? While there's still time left. Because the censorship is going down. Slowly but surely. Got that proved with Paula the other day. Guys, check out my live. I talked about Paula and the incoming conditions that would bring just by the movement itself. You might be interested because it actually happened again with a second thing with YouTube. Now, YouTube is now doing the same thing. They're removing people. You know, they removed Alex Jones prior. I personally agreed with a lot of things Alex Jones had to say. I don't agree with Alex Jones' approach a lot of times, but I agree with a lot of things Alex Jones used to say. I go all the way back to Secret Space with Alex Jones. That's when he was doing conspiracy theory, fucking not DVDs, VHS tapes. You know, they used to sell them. So Alex Jones actually had some phenomenal things to say, and it's like that. He was the first batch. It was Louis Farrakhan, and so this is not a first approach they've done to banning people. It's just now it's going to be broad. So I say this to y'all: don't do any fucking marching. Right? You're going to be lumped up, especially if you're Black Lives Matter or whatever advocacy group you are, Lesbian Rights Matter, whatever it is. Whatever affiliation you have right now, you're going to be grouped together with what they call the insurgents, okay? And those insurgents are built on nothing but tyranny. And if you need any proof, when you saw that girl trying to bust through that door, when you saw the girl try to bust through the door at Capitol Hill, you saw what happened to her, right? We cannot be grouped into that. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want any of y'all to file for any freaking listening permits to protest. Don't file for no permits for next month. Whatever issue you got, bring it up next month. Let this shit fly over. Because give me 1 second, these buses are going by. If you don't let this shit flow over, what's going to happen is you're going to be grouped together with these insurgents, Antifa, or whatever. I've warned y'all before when I told y'all, and I said it before from the beginning. I didn't say it here, but I said it on Facebook. And I'll grab that one. So I'm going to grab all my lives. Y'all see I started uploading some of them. I'm going to upload some more. And I say this correctly. I said, yo, you're going to see more of this shit. And here we are. Here we are. So if anything, I'm consistent. Let me read some of these comments. Oh, of course he has a plan. Let me see what else is. I want to read all y'all's. Hey, Leela, what's going on? Don Smith, what's going on? LaRonda Scott, what's going on? Drive 99. Jan, what's going on? Star Pepper, salute. Cocoa Butter Barbie, what's going on? Divalicious Hair Stenches, always on the check-in. Hey, baby, how you doing? Please hit the like button. Thank you, guys. And yes, it's $STRINGER 80. Stringerbell 80. I spelled that so wrong. I left off the bell. But it's Stringerbell 80. STRINGERBELL 80. Coco, I don't think Trump's leaving office. That's a hell of a statement. Girl, don't say that. I can't take it. Trump's not really the problem. Exactly, David. Trump sent to stay home. I believe he had a plan. Yeah, he had a plan. So we haven't lost completely left. Like and subscribe. There you go. It seems the fight is still on. And so just to pick up on that, this is why I tell you guys, right now is not the time as African Americans and Latinos to be out in the street protesting. You may be mistaken for one of these groups. I saw an incident in Brooklyn that happened that really upset me when this one particular officer, and I'm glad that this was pointed out actually by a former person that was from the New York Police Department, high ranking, that actually agreed and said the same thing. This was not the step that he should be doing. This man was out there with no mask on at the time. I'm out here with no mask on too, but I would never pull a gun on someone, no matter how microaggressions they come from with a girl specifically. You know, you can't look like too much of a hero, you know, fronting on a girl. That don't usually work for people. You know, in my experience anyway, I've seen quite a few motherfuckers get their ass whooped. over fucking with girls. You know what I mean? So I say this to you. Don't protest. Don't file for any permits. Spread this, spread this, spread this, spread this. If you go to Boyce Watkins, just mention it. You don't have to quote me. I just want the idea out there. I want the language out there. I want the language that don't get in the streets and protest right now, because right now is a bad time. You will be grouped together with these people. And what you see behind me, that's what will be on your ass. You understand what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Keep that in hand. Share it to everyone that you know. Share it here on my page. If you have an idea or somebody that y'all think I should link with to talk a little bit more, do that. Everybody keeps telling me I should talk to Jaguar. I'm up for that discussion any day of the week. Jaguar is probably the only person out of everybody that's contacted me to do interviews with that I would actually sit down and have a conversation with, like on a Zoom type of thing or whatever. I would invite that. I would invite that conversation because, one, we both come up in the same search with each other. Everybody says the same thing when they come to my page. They say, I was looking for something for Jaguar Wright and you came up. I said, oh yeah, you know, it happens. You know, she's a reason for me, but at the same time, my legacy or not ending legacy in the music business is more, I think, paramount here. And the story of me and my journey through the entertainment industry or whatever, which was not all bad at all. You know, I went through, if many of you guys are new here, I went through 3 different record companies, Arista, Interscope, and Atlantic Records. All distributors of our company, Bad Boy Entertainment. I was part of that for 16 years, part of the marketing department. And I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that. But time moves on, things happen like COVID-19 and a whole bunch of other stuff. We got into another endeavor. I always tell you guys to go to that. Prez is doing it on his own now, but it's called Power Moves Makers. We interview everybody you can think of. I say we because I still feel like, because every taping I was there. Every taping I was doing clips. Every taping I was doing photos. So, you know, I feel real proud of that. Dame Dash, Tuma Basa. This last night I had Jeff Tweedy like one of my tweets. So shout out to Jeff Tweedy. He's giving me inspiration to start my clothing company. So thank God for that. If you don't know who Jeff Tweedy is, he actually started Sean John. So definitely a person to know. Dia Sims, Funkmaster Flex, James Cruz, who's also been on Revolt TV. Many of these people I mentioned have also been on Revolt TV and other outlets. So these are people that I was around for years. DJ Envy, I was in-house for that one, for Power 105. We talked more about real estate at that time than anything. We didn't talk about really music too much. Let's say we talked more about real estate, which all you guys I know that I'm in for my shipping container business. I was thinking the other day something, speaking of that, just real random. I was thinking maybe I should put my emphasis on building my house first. I think that my house presented as the example and the modular, I think that would be better. And I think I'm going to start a campaign for that. I've gotten to the point now I don't even want a new apartment. I want my home. I think I'm at the age right now that that's what I want. And I'm going to do some phone calls and get a complete estimate and see where I can find a piece of land to possibly purchase, because the lot that you would need wouldn't be that big, and see what I can come up with. I haven't done that locally yet, and that's one of the things that I definitely want to do locally is check that out and see what goes on with that. Might be something there. Also, where I plan on going for a couple of months at least so I can work on new material and everything else to bring to y'all. But I have a new single. Hopefully we'll push it out next week. Y'all gonna love that because it's about Tasha K. Hi Tasha. Hey girl, still she look like a drag queen? News talking about Trump should send his last speech a couple of days ago. The speech is for what's getting ready to happen, not for what happened on January 6th. It's like I said, these particular groups, and I say in their pockets once again, all of them are strategically been probably plotting stuff like this for months. You know, for months. And I'm sure that the FBI has been aware, CIA has been aware, a lot of other groups have been aware. But what you have to realize is the far right-wingers are different from Republicans. You understand what I'm saying? Even a moderate Republican or conservative Republican for that matter. So far right-wingers are the same thing as the far left, in my opinion, where they go to the extreme. And the extreme can include violence or anything else under that measure under the blunt sun. So you got to keep in mind that a lot of far-right wingers don't care about you or whatever else is in the way. They were getting ready to kidnap Pence, the vice president. All right? So, oh, y'all gonna love that shit. Trust me. Yeah, I'm a musician. That's the whole reason I'm on here, you know, I'm a musician. But yeah, I'm delivering that to y'all. It's sad enough to say, but man, listen, if you keep on putting your faith in Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and all these fucking fucks, you see what they put precedents on. Impeaching a president that's got a couple hours left. Literally a couple hours, you know? This is how he works. I can't stand it, but he's playing chess while the rest of them are playing checkers. He's strategic. Still don't like him, though. You don't have to like him, and that's the whole thing. I don't encourage people to like or dislike either part of the party. Do y'all remember I came up here election day, and I voiced my opinion how I felt about Biden and his history of segregationist support that many people chose to ignore for some certain reason or another, based on this movement we have nowadays, extreme liberalism. And that's the same thing I was saying about extreme right-wingers. It's the same equal part. They're both willing to do things that are extreme, that are not of any significance, because once they've been charged, once they've been arrested, you forget about them in the cycle of everything in about a couple of days, a couple of minutes in some cases, you know. So that doesn't really make a big deal with me. It sit real high with me when I hear someone say, you know, let's go out here and march, or let's go out here and do whatever. The marching days, fall back from that shit. Fall back from right now, fall back from it. Because I will tell you guys one more time, and I'm gonna keep reiterating this because I want y'all to spread this around to the culture, the community, get everybody talking about this particular subject right now. Bring it up in their chat rooms like y'all bring it up in the chat room right here. Thank you, Devilicious, for putting my Cash App up there and my PayPal. But make sure you tell them, don't file for any permits to march. Make sure you tell them don't march and don't do anything else. Let these wahoos, hillbillies, and everybody else, let them do what they're doing. Bring back hee-haw. You know, whatever. Let them do what they're doing. Once they finish, and the military does a good goddamn job, as they sit in the Capitol Hill right now, taking naps. You know what I mean? The shifts, as they should be. As that's happening right now, remember this will be over like that. They don't let that happen. So you don't have to worry about that. What you have to worry about is being caught in the middle of it, or what is perceived to be caught in the middle of it. And that's what I'm trying to stop black folks and Latin folks specifically, and white folks as well, from doing and putting yourself into a situation where your group with a group of individuals that you may cross paths with, it may be projected that you're part of this group because you're in a large fashion or whatever else the case may be. I don't want black people and Spanish people to get lumped in that. I don't want a news, because I've seen now Pix 11, and I hate to say this because I know Monica Morales, not in person, but we have had so much interaction online that, you know, there's no denial that we know each other. I hated how Pix 11 took a whole bunch of stories of different advocacy groups here, not only in New York City, but across the tri-state, really. And they take these news stories and they edit them very well, but when they add in the language on the dubs over, they sometimes mistake a march for who it truly is. Like, I've now heard mentioned Black Lives Matter several times, and it's not Black Lives Matter, it's different advocacy groups. One in particular was a group of Ecuadorians. I said, well, how the hell does that make sense? Not saying that we wouldn't support them, but I'm just saying I don't think that would be the mantra. And what they said was, well, we saw 3 people out there that were saying that, so we figured that's what it was. No, you don't do it like that. So that's what I mean by being lumped together. And that's what I mean by, that's the way the media will present it, saturate it, and keep the loop going on as the same as arresting these people that were at the Capitol building and running the loop. Now pay attention, the loops keep going over and over and over and over and over as they arrest them. And so each individual one. So one guy gets arrested, there's about 8 or 9 clips of this guy getting arrested. There should be. But what it's there for is to set an example and let you know preordained, this is what will happen to that ass if you come down here to the Capitol. Y'all remember that movie Django Unchained? He said, you come to Bill Sharp's town and showed your ass. You saw what happened to Bill Sharp, right? So the only thing I'm saying to you is, don't be fucking Bill Sharp. You know what I mean? And get lumped up into that crazy shit, marching or advocating for something that doesn't have anything to do with that particular segregationist portion, or, you know, at one time we would call it separatists or God, succeed, people attempting to succeed from governments, United States in this case, in my full measure, I believe. You know, Texas has now tried, I think, 3 or 4 times to secede from the United States. You know, so here's what it is. All right, kids, I'm out of here. Please spread the word. Do not march. Do not march. Make a hashtag of the shit. Hashtag do not march. Right now. And spread that to everybody's ear that's popular. Spread it to Pup even. You know what I'm saying? Spread it to everybody. Do not march. Yeah, that's Nancy Pelosi, Cruella Deville. And I'll still call it Cruella Deville because the pure simple fact, I'm glad you said, so you held me up a few more minutes. I'll still call it Cruella Deville because the pure simple fact, you held up the stimulus, now you're putting precedents, impeaching Donald Trump over getting a stimulus plan out. At least get the EIDL loans saturated and get them moving. You know what I'm saying? At least get that moving. Because if you ain't got no business, you're going to have a bigger problem on your hand. Because now you got a new batch of unemployed motherfuckers running around. Or people that have work are getting 4 or 6 hours a day, pretending everything is all right and shit. You know. How you been? Oh, I'm okay. I'm up to my ass in debt, but I'm okay. How many hours you getting in a day? 4, 5, you know. The average person. The average person is collecting at least partial unemployment right now. So let's not pretend. I hate people that pretend. You know? Factory. Yeah, Joe Biden is giving $1,400, but what you have to understand is they're putting in the notion that since they already gave you $600, and this is considerable because nobody knows the finalization on this, but since they gave you $600, they're saying the $1,400 will be the total. You know what I mean? So that would total out to $2,000. So basically, you got it in portions. You got $600 initially, and then later on you'll get the remaining $1,400. But a lot of people are saying that you need to start from more than that because $1,400 isn't enough. You ask the average person right now how long that $600 lasted them, and they'll probably say the day. The day. Because the money was already owed out already. Many people had to go grocery shopping. It hit right around the New Year time, so it went out. You know, people wanted to be celebratory. You know, shit like that. So, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I cannot say it. I don't believe that she's nothing but a problem. You know, I think she was a problem beforehand. I said it back then. I'm documented online as saying that, you know, the shit never disappears. So even if you delete it, it never disappears. You know, somebody's got it in the cloud. Somebody has ripped it. Somebody at the servers over at Facebook or Instagram, whatever you're using. You know what I mean? They got it. So I make no whims about what I say online. I say what I say online to keep y'all in line. And as I say, if anything you can recognize Black and Spanish people and white people alike, is this. I'm consistent as a motherfucker, ain't I? I'm consistent as hell. And I've yet, including the 4 previous times I've come up here, and said what I said, been wrong. I said that shit right before that stuff at the Capitol building happened, and it happened. Crazy. Biden not going to give nothing. That's all talk. That's what Deville said. Biden telling us what he want to hear. I said that from the beginning, right up here. It's literally in my videos. go through it. It even has titled that, why you shouldn't vote for Biden. I did it the day before the elections. And I said these things, and I think people will find out. And I also came up here and did another one before that. Out of, 16 or something I did. But the one I mentioned was like number 4 back. And I said what he would possibly do once he got into office. I don't think it'll be particularly Kamala that'll play. Kamala will play a role of Pence. You know, you'll never see her. You'll see her in photo shoots, shit like that. You won't really see her as, you know, executing any real definitive actions, I think, on camera and media. And that's because Joe Biden, he even comes with sex. There's a reel on YouTube. There's a reel on YouTube, right? There's a reel on YouTube right now. And if you go to that reel, just put it in and put in creepy Joe Biden little girls. Creepy Joe Biden little girls. There's going to be a whole reel on there. And that whole reel is about 2 minutes long, and it's Biden kissing on little girls and shit. Real uncomfortable shit, you know? Like, wait, why you fanning little girls' ears and shit? I'm like, all right. This is who y'all voted for? The motherfucker's a half pedophile. There's a whole reel. I'm not talking about just like one photo, one video clip. You know, like one video clip I can get past, you know? But there's a whole entire fucking reel of Joe Biden considerably, you know, in uncomfortable positions with little girls, you know, coming up from behind them. Hey, baby, it's Uncle Joey. You know, like, the fuck? Put it this way, if it was my daughter, fuck who was Secret Service or whoever the fuck else, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, man. Y'all voted for this motherfucker. Nah, he's not going to do nothing. He's not going to do nothing. I think it'll be a lot of talk. I think it'll be stagnated probably in March, April, before you'll actually see any type of stimulus happening. That's why I said you guys got to start playing some rules in black and Latin culture right now, and in some important portions of white culture as well, which is you got to start shifting the dynamic. The dynamic is fucked up right now. And you're shifting your dynamic to all this advocacy and all this shaming and all this gossiping online, but you're not paying attention to the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this political shit that's going on right in front of you. And how you could be mixed up right in front of it, right in the middle of it, with your individual advocacies. You guys want to see the horses? Hold on one second. I ain't seen them out in a minute. Let me turn this around. That's the New York City police officers on the horses. For y'all that don't, I ain't never seen that. Hold on, let me see if I can get a little bit better. But for all y'all ain't never seen that, that's it. They ride those all through the city. When it's normal. When it's normal. Oh yeah, I'll keep it on there a little bit. The bus is blocking them now. At least I got to see it somewhat. I'll try to catch them with it, because I know the bus gonna go faster than them. They kind of trot on the horses. You know what I mean? I still know how to ride a goddamn horse. So y'all know that from Camp Altamont in upstate New York. Shout out to them. 3 years, each year you go to camp, they teach you another level ride a horse. And believe it or not, the person that trains these horses right here, I put up an article about it before for New York City. It's a black gentleman. And this black gentleman, he trains all those, you see those horses right there? He trains all of them. So, anyway, Nancy Pelosi don't give a fuck about none of you. Neither does Biden. Mitch McConnell, for example, doesn't either. So, help each other. That's all I say. And stay the fuck out of that marching shit for a month. That is the directive. That is the motive. That is the word. Spread that around. All right? I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. I'm going to go charge my phone up a little bit here. Probably give me a coffee in me, a cigarette. And I'm going to talk about this Corey Holcomb and Zoe Williams debacle that happened last night that I watched witness in front of my eyes. And you know what's funny? I was on Zoe, and I said this yesterday before the show. I was on Zoe's live on Facebook, and we was rapping. And he was, reading the comments, reading my comments, said, see you tonight. Told everybody to let us know what you think of the show or whatever. I'm hoping what we saw last night on Corey Holcomb's show was an act. And it was just meant to stir up some controversy so views would come to the show. because that would probably be the most viewed show since the one with Ari Spears. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that and how that could have went way somewhere else and looked way more confrontational than needed to be. And I just didn't like it. I thought Corey was real passive aggressive on there, but we'll talk about that in the later live, and I'll get into that because I had a couple of people ask me about that. Yo, what happened? A lot of people haven't seen it. It was just posted about 22 hours ago, so as the last time I looked. So you guys can check that out. But let me get up out of here. I want to say MF Nancy Pelosi, MF Mitch McConnell, MF everybody, part of Senate and Congress. They put the precedence of their own safety and their own feelings in front of American people and American demand for business to keep afloat, especially small businesses. I say fuck every last one of y'all tonight now. Y'all feel that because your lives you potentially thought were in danger, and they may have been, you thought that your lives set precedence over the people you're supposed to govern over. And for that, I think it is time for a different approach of getting rid of every last one of them the next time they come up for vote. The next time each one of them comes up for vote, whether it be a senator or whoever it be, and they fit the demands of putting precedents and coming to vote, including those 10 Republican senators that came out the woodwork and wanted to vote to impeach him, but didn't want to vote to get a stimulus passed. Including those 10. Including, out of everybody, Dick Cheney's motherfucking daughter. That was the funniest one that voted. Dick Cheney's fucking daughter. Dick Cheney, the same one. I accidentally shot him on that hunting accident. Fucking Cheney. Oh, I ain't got no aim ass. Dick Cheney. His daughter voted for this. And it just amazes me. It just really amazes me that they stood up for that, but wouldn't stand up when it was time to stand up to get some money out and get those damn EIDL loans out to people. I've seen businesses all across Connecticut, but specifically the part of Connecticut that I was in, just closed. I mean, they ain't coming back. They're done. Place has been there 10, 20, 15 years. You know? Places like the Galley, Mervs, all the places is gone. Those are like, y'all don't know those places, but people like, those are the spots you bring your family. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. They're gone. And people will probably reopen it up and call it something else, but they ain't gonna have the same vibe, you know, like, it's done. It's done. It's done. So that's what they needed to do. All right, I'm mumbling now. I don't want to do that anymore, but it's just a lot on my mind or whatever about that whole situation. But I couldn't believe out of everybody that put their precedence on the vote and spoke up about all things, it was Dick Cheney's fucking daughter. I thought that was just ridiculously funny. It was just hilarious. They need to get those checks out. Not worry about impeaching Trump on a couple hours left for his constituency. Get down to business, because when you guys take a break on the 19th of this month, you're going to come back after session is reconvened, and then you're going to argue and have court and disposition over a fucking impeachment of a now gone president whose constituency is now switched. All for what? Semblance. To be symbolic. Good job, Nancy. Good fucking job. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Links are in the description. PayPal, Swingerbell 80 and Cash App. Thank you guys so much. It is crazy. Michelle Michi Booker, what's going on? Coco, Barbie. What was he hurting that day? Yeah, it was a hunting accident. You guys look it up. It was Dick Cheney. And he claimed he was on a hunting accident. I think this was during Bush's. Yeah, this is when he was Bush's vice president. So I'm barely old enough to remember this, but this is when he was Bush's vice president. And there was a hunting accident, and he shot another senator or something like that, whatever the case may be. And it was with a shotgun. out of all things. He survived. He survived. You might want to say that. Devilicious. Let's see. Biden telling us what he want to hear. Yeah, I know he is. She impeaching him because her laptop is missing. Stolen from the Capitol. Yeah, her missing laptop. I wonder what was on that laptop. Probably a couple drafts of her delusional approaches to stimulus, probably. You know what I mean? Like, she wanted 1.9. They offered her 1.2, and she said, nah, that ain't good enough. And she could have had the 1.2, and this all could have been surmised and done with. Right then and there. She didn't want that. And now she's setting precedents. That's why I said y'all got to think in sensation. You got to think in linear fashion here. All the shit, all the stagnation that has happened for the past now 8 months. All from Nancy Pelosi mostly and Mitch McConnell. And then ask yourself this. So you couldn't get the checks out. You couldn't get the EIDL loans out. But like swift, within 3 or 4 days, you have a vote to impeach a fucking president that's getting ready to leave his constituency anyway in a couple hours. Y'all motherfuckers America look dumb right now. And like I said before, right here in front of Trump Tower, not only are you making America look dumb, you're making America look weak. You made it look not only that you're penetrable, but it could have been prevented. You understand what I'm saying? Now that sends a message to foreign countries that America is weak. All our enemies are looking at that right now, and they're saying, You know, the Kim Jongs, even though they say, everything's been quelled. He quelled things with Trump. That's not to say he's going to quell things with the next president or the president precedes him. So we never know what might happen. If you don't get those checks out, and if you guys keep on marching, you're going to get grouped together with these people. Those are the two things and the two messages that I only get out. Black people and Latin people do not march right now. You are going to get grouped together with these people, and it's going to be the worst thing that could ever be imaginable. And then you're going to have a whole nother advocacy that you're going to have to bridge on your mind. I tell you one more time, only thing you have to pay attention to is that young lady that got shot as she was coming through those doors at the Capitol building. That's the only thing you have to look at. And once you look at that, you will know and have even more incentive not to march right now. So once again, I would tell you guys, tell black people and Latin people, as of right now, do not file for any type of permits right now. Do not form for any types of permits to march. If you file for any types of permits to march right now, what is going to happen is you are going to be grouped and lumped together. Trust me. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Cash App is there, $ STRINGERBELL80. For all you multi-million-dollar blacks and multi-billion-dollar blacks and Latins that are out there in our community and culture that care so much, I want y'all to do something. Go on any social media platform and find some woman, some fella even, and ask them what you can do to help. Instead of going to buy a new Bentley, instead of going to buy whatever else you're going to buy. I'm here on Fifth Avenue. I used to live on Fifth Avenue. I have mail address to Fifth Avenue. My bank card's at Fifth Avenue. Right now is not the time to spend money with these entities. Right now it's the time to spend money amongst your own. And if you don't spend money amongst your own, you're going to see something frail. And that's not only the economy, but you're going to have a civil war amongst yourselves, if that makes any sense. You're going to have a civil war amongst yourself, where what happened on the slave plantation will happen now in reality, where you will see people try to succumb each other within their own culture. Trust me when I tell you this, that's the plan. Kill yourselves. I'll talk to you guys later. Links are in the description. Y'all check them out. PayPal, STRINGERBELL80, Stringer Bell 80 on Cash App. I hope you guys donate. Again, that's $STRINGERBELL80. Other than that, guys, have a good night. I will be back to talk about Corey Oakland and Zoe Williams and what happened in the atrocity of the 5150 show. And is this the end of the 5150 show is a fucking question, and I'm hoping not. All right, guys, I'll see you in a little bit. Links are in the description. $STRINGERBELL80, Stringer Bell 80, live from Trump Tower. Pelosi, Cruella, Deville, you have been a nuisance. Mitch McConnell, you have been a nuisance. Get the checks out, the EIDL loans, before America is shut down. We're already in laughing stock right now, and you're making us even more by impeaching a president that's got a couple of hours left and putting that over presidents of the people. I ain't feeling it. Later, guys.